Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Talks. Today we're here with Doug Raible, who is an investor and a financial advisor with Sterling Heights. So welcome to our show, Doug.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, so on Tuesday Talks, we are all about building community, one conversation at a time. So through our conversation today, we're going to learn a little bit more about Doug. And just to give you a slight background, he was named one of Pittsburgh's top 20 of 2018. He has been in the investment business since he was 18 years old and started one of his first local businesses while he was still in college at Pitt. So Doug, I'm sure you have lots of information to share with us today. Welcome.
I appreciate it. Hopefully I can add some value to the listeners.
Yes. So first off, tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where do you live? Where are you from? Let's get to know you a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a South Sider, just like yourself. So love the city. I really couldn't leave. I've been living near the city for probably the past 4 or 5 years, but I grew up east of the city in North Huntington. It's where I went to high school. And then I went to college at University of Pittsburgh. I commuted all 4 years there and have been living in the city pretty much ever since.
Yeah, so that commute from the east side, definitely after 4 years says time to move in, right?
Yeah, not the best. Plus, I'm just a fan of being around the city, the energy, all the people, the things to do. It's fun growing up in the suburbs, but after that, I wanted a little bit more excitement. So kind of hard to leave.
Yep, Southside's the place for that, for excitement for sure.
Absolutely.
So as a investor, tell us what that entails and how you run that business.
Yeah, so I'm an investor in a bunch of different asset classes. I started out in the financial markets. As you said, I started investing when I was 18 in the stock market. So that was the very first thing I jumped into. And then when I was in college, I expanded into real estate. I like the idea of, having different forms of income and different investments. So I took time to learn about that. Started out really on the sales end, finding investment opportunities for, investors, and then use that money to get into things like rental properties, flips. As of right now, I just strictly buy rentals. I don't flip houses anymore. I'm also a financier, so I finance projects for investors around the city. And then I invest in small businesses. So I have an investment in Secretos, which is the first Puerto Rican food truck business here in Pittsburgh. That's my newest venture. And I'm really going to be more so focused on investing and buying businesses more so than real estate in the next few years. But any way that I can throw money somewhere and hope that it, grows into something more, I'm interested in.
Well, that's great. So through that building with small businesses, you're definitely helping to build Pittsburgh community. So what draws you or what attracts you to some businesses? Like, why would you choose one over another?
So one is, can I actually add value to the company and help grow it? So for instance, I have no technological background. So the last thing I'm doing is investing in a startup app or something because I just am absolutely useless for that. But anything involving, services or the financial markets, real estate, or just things that I enjoy doing around the city. So I'm trying to get into some different, more entertainment-based businesses. But yeah, anything that I can hopefully add value is the first. And then the second is something that I actually understand. So hopefully I either have a background in it, maybe I was involved in a service one way or the other with those types of businesses. And lastly is just the opportunity. So if there's a certain industry that I see has a lot of potential, or an entrepreneur that I really think is going to do a great job in the city, then that's something that I would be looking for as far as an investment opportunity.
Okay, so if somebody that's watching has an idea that they think might work well with you, how do they reach out to you? Or are you go to people? How does it work?
I'm always open to hear out ideas. There's certain industries I just have no interest in, and then there's others that are super intriguing. But I do most of my business actually online through social media, so anybody could find me at Pittsburgh Investor on pretty much any social media platform, or you could visit thepittsburghinvestor.com. That's another way you can get in touch.
Okay, so once they get in touch, is it like a mini Shark Tank? You're set up there and under the
No,
I'm
not that
spotlight.
cool. I'm like the Aldi version of Shark Tank, like the off-brand. No, more so I'll just hear out the idea, learn about their background, and then just be kind of straight up from the beginning if it's something that I'm interested in, or if I'm looking to get into that industry. And I don't always have funds available either, so I might be involved in a couple of different business ventures that tied up some cash that I might not even be in the market to, to finance anything at the moment.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you probably have a good connection for lots of different things around the city. So even if somebody's just looking for more information about a different topic, you seem like you'd be a good person at least to help connect individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always willing to help people for free if they need a contact somewhere or just general education. If there's a way I can help somebody locally, I'd love to do so.
Awesome. So on that strain of helping people, your spot with Sterling Heights, that seems to be a very teachable place for you. I know that's how we connected and
Right.
using your services there. And I've learned a whole lot. I mean, I know I bombard you with questions. So you are a wonderful teacher on that side. How did you get into that business?
Well, I appreciate that. So I started, as I said, investing in the stock market right out of high school. And I basically said, I'm dedicating my life to this and investing. As soon as I started, I was hooked. So I've just been learning, for over 10 years now. And, I have obviously many licenses in the financial services industry. And I just like the idea of helping people with money. I think the education of learning about that at a young age put me in a spot where I have that financial security at a young age. I don't really have to worry about working too much. And I want to give that to people. If I can help them, I know it's very confusing. I know sometimes it can be stressful. There's a lot of people in the industry that are not the best at helping. So I just want to be able to, add value to anyone and everyone that I can, teaching them about financial literacy and ways that they can invest so that they can reap some of the things that I've personally been able to enjoy in my life.
Great. So what drew you in at such a young age? Was it purely the idea of not wanting to work hard, really? Or was there something bigger than that that attracted you to financial world?
Actually, it was the total opposite. So I was the kind of money hungry kid. I started working when I was 15. I had 2 jobs in high school. I had 2 jobs while I was commuting to school. So I was always focused on money. But I like the idea of making a lot of money at a young age, but it was like 60-hour weeks in the summer. And I didn't really have that much of a social life with it. So I was like, all right, how can I find a way to keep making money, but without working this long? And then that's when I got introduced to the idea of the stock market and investing. And then it basically just took off from there. I was like, this is insane. You could just put money somewhere, do nothing, and it turns into more. I'm all about it.
I feel like there's probably lots of people that share that same philosophy and thought that, whoa, let's go for it. So for those people that are looking to get involved in the stock market, do you have any tips or pointers or recommendations on how to start?
Yeah. So my rule of thumb is somebody just beginning investing, like if this is your very first time allocating money, is to first build up a safety net of savings. If you don't have enough to take care of an unexpected $1,000 expense or flat tire or unexpected healthcare costs, you should not be thinking about investing. You need to make sure that you have security and an emergency fund first. But once you reach that, maybe 4 to 5 months of your expenses in cash, then I immediately tell people to start looking into the stock market as your first investment. And the reason being is a few things. One, stock market's liquid, meaning you could literally click a button, it's cashed out, it's back into your bank account in a few days. You can't do that with a house. You can't do that with a business. So if you ever need money in a pinch, you have that access and liquidity with that. The second is if you don't really know what you're doing and you don't have any idea how the stuff works, there's enough people out there and there's different investment funds that you could just invest alongside them and let the professionals do the work for you, or just follow along in what's called an index fund. And then lastly, you can get involved with a very small amount of money, especially now with the Robinhoods, the E-Trades, all these other companies that, have literally $50 minimums or, very small amounts of money, that anybody can get involved with that, as opposed to, $10,000 down on a property or, $25,000 in a loan to start up a business. So that's why I always recommend starting in the financial markets first.
Okay, great information. Now, where is your expertise in your financial advising? Do you work with a certain group of people? Do you prefer to do one style or another?
Yeah, so we do actually specialize. Through the years, I've worked with pretty much anyone you could imagine, whether it's newlyweds, college planning, retirement. tax strategies. We've done it all, but really where, as the practice has grown, where we really focus is working with business owners with different tax strategies and investment plans, as well as retirement clients. So people who are retiring soon, who recently retired, they just need help with how to allocate all their money so that they don't outlive their savings. That's really kind of our sweet spot, those two markets.
Okay, so for those sweet spot people, when is the best time for somebody to call you? Is it for like the small business owner? Is it before that they start, when they're first in the planning stages, or after they've already been in business for a little bit?
So either or. So we work with businesses just getting started if they need help with their insurance planning. I work very closely with the managing partner of a law firm downtown. He gives my clients a discount for starting up, LLCs. Getting set up with payroll. We have a CPA partner. So at the beginning phase, we can absolutely help, but more so where our sweet spot is down the road when they're very profitable, and their new problem isn't how are we keeping the doors open, but how can we get more money out of the tax system. So that's where we can come into play and help with putting company plans in place, different investments that might have tax benefits, and just leveraging those different opportunities for small businesses.
Okay, so you're kind of a all around, you, like you said earlier, you got the connections to get the stuff done the correct way and the best way. So what is like, what should somebody have ready when they call you to start? Do they need to have specific papers or documents, or can it just be simply a, hey, I heard your name and I need some help?
Yeah, so if it's just on a basic consulting basis, just literally coming up with either your problems or what you want to work, and we kind of can operate on just a cost for our time. But if it's more so that the client would like us to manage their money and their finances, any statements of existing accounts, a breakdown of your income and expenses, any other liabilities or debts that you have, just more or less all the details, so that we can work backwards and kind of reverse engineer what makes sense for that person. There's not really a right answer for everyone. That's where you kind of have to go digging, almost like a doctor, and say, all right, what's the issues? What seems to be causing the problem here? And then you kind of work backwards from there.
Okay, so what are some myths about the financial world, investment world, that you've heard that you've had to correct people on that you think would be helpful for our viewers?
Yeah, so a couple. One is more so on my industry, is a lot of people would assume that there's just kind of like the snake oil salespeople, that they just push a product and they're going to take your money and run, or they're going to charge all these high fees. I legally can't even put clients into certain things, even if they want it, if our suitability review does not approve it. What that literally means is that if a client wants to do something, and if we feel that it might be a good fit for them, and we try to do so, our suitability team has to review it to see if it is in the best interest and is as conservative as it should be for that client. If they don't approve it, we literally can't get paid. They will turn down the client, turn down the money. So that's the first thing, is we don't just go out pitching products to try to get as much commission. It has to make sense for the person. And then next is that you have to have an absorbent amount of money. I have clients that put a few $100 a month away, and I have clients that have $500,000. So it's kind of all over the place. It's not how it used to be, where only the high net worth people have a financial manager. Now with things like, again, like with E-Trade and all these low cost brokerages, that you can get involved with a very small amount of money, as opposed to what the common belief is, that you have to have a big stack of cash to get involved.
Okay, so now as a financial manager, financial planner, I've heard that term and read different things where it runs the gamut of, it's somebody who does your budget and tells you what you can pay for, to somebody where you just give them a check and they invest it. Where do you fall in that your use of the term financial advisor?
Yeah, so each of our partners kind of focus a little bit differently and have different licenses. So I'm more so focused on working with the business owners, where we would manage their money, we would put tax strategies and company plans in place. And then I have a business partner that focuses on the retirement side, where it's more fee based, and we do kind of more holistic plan for those clients in retirement. So it's really based off of what the person needs. We wanted to structure things in a way so that we could handle anything and everything, as opposed to just being one specific service. But yeah, you have your financial planners, You have more so money managers who are the ones that are managing the assets. They don't really work directly with clients. They'd be more so the people that we could choose to allocate funds for our clients. Then you have, of course, your accountants and your CPAs who they can help with the budgeting and your payroll and the taxes and consulting. So there's many different, I guess, forms of financial management within our industry.
Okay. So now somebody young coming up like yourself, like you did, young college student, late high school, what would your best advice be for them to get to your spot now?
I would say to live broke as long as you can. It's not the most fun, but at the end of the day, those Gucci shoes and the Louis V bag doesn't help you get rich. You can get that after you get rich. But I would say to first start saving and investing every single month, a little percentage of your income. Just force yourself to do it, whether you like it or not. And then just look at a model of what that'll be in 20, 30 years. And it'll just blow your mind. And then the second thing is to focus on whatever it is that you think you're the best at or that you love doing for your career. A lot of people when they're younger get pushed one way or the other by a teacher, family member, whatever it is. You can get very, very wealthy and have, great success in any industry, as long as you're good at it and you love doing it. So focusing on what you really enjoy doing and take some extra time to actually learn about how the economy works, how the tax system works, how money works, because, there's a lot of classes in college that just will be absolutely worthless in your life. And that's just the truth. Money management and understanding how money works will always be valuable no matter what industry you're in.
That is great advice for sure. So how does somebody get in touch with you? What's the best means to contact you?
So I would say anywhere on social media. Again, you can find me at Pittsburgh Investor on Instagram and Facebook, and obviously Doug Raible just on LinkedIn. Also, my email is raiblerealtyinvestments@gmail.com. I'm most active on my email, but if you want to find me online, my information's all over the place. So if you need to get in touch with me, I always respond.
Awesome. So we'll make sure we put that contact information below. So if you have anything else you would want to share with us today before we head out.
No, I appreciate you having me on here. And if I could just suggest that everybody watching, if you haven't began investing yet, look into a way, even if it's with a very small amount of money. I promise it'll be worth it, whether it's just for the education or building wealth long term, but you'll be happy that you started.
Again, thank you. Great advice. So thank you everybody for being here today with Doug Raible, our financial advisor, planner extraordinaire all around. So this has been another episode of Tuesday Talks, where we build community one conversation at a time. Thank you, Doug, again for being here today, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you so much.